This is the DigiByte DGB 1 year overview reading for the year of 2025. It's currently August 12th, 2024, 10:17 p.m. Eastern Time. DGB at the time of this reading is currently 0.006721, half of a cent USD. The DigiByte 1 year overview reading for 2025 shuffle file was created on June 9th, 2024 at 5:13 p.m. Eastern Time. That's a video playing for you in the lower left corner. In this video, we're going to go over the overall trend and chart behavior for DigiByte in the year 2025, information about the highest high for the year, information about the lowest low for the year. We're going to get into the quarterly chart behavior and even give you one of the best trades that we see for the year. All of that is in the public version. Usually we end the public version by reviewing the prior year's prediction, but this is the first of the 1 year readings for DigiByte, so nothing really to review there. The overall theme and chart behavior for DigiByte in the year of 2025, we have a failed attempt to break through key resistance followed by a decline through key support. What's important about this resistance is that usually it'll come after falsely establishing support. There's this failed attempt to break through resistance and we expect to break through it because of this falsely established support. But then instead of that breakthrough, or maybe we break through momentarily more likely, we turn around and we decline rather than having a breakout. We decline usually through that falsely established support. So that's taking place in the paid version of this video. We're also going to get into how this fits into the multi-year reading and talk about the multi-year reading from 2020 through 2029, which hasn't been released on its own. It'll be part of this video, again, in the paid version. Cross with that chart behavior and everything as far as support and resistance and what I talk about as far as chart behavior, that's always going to be in the scale of a 1 year reading unless I specify, or a 1 year chart, unless I specify otherwise. So there's an important trough on a multi-year scale that's also highlighted here in 2025. So likely what happens is we have this poke through resistance momentarily, expecting to break through because we establish support, and then we turn around, we decline pretty notably and come to a multi-year low. Behavior around the highest high for the year, we've got a rally along a diagonal trend line on a 1 year chart scale, breaking through horizontal resistance to meet another resistance before pulling back to somewhere between those two price levels. Behavior around the lowest low, we have a U-shaped dip forming near the intersection of two perpendicular diagonal trend lines. Usually when you see the priestess card in the low position, there's two peaks with a low in between the peaks. It's usually a retracement as well, like the opposite of the art card where you have a peak, you drop to a trough, and then you retrace all the way back to the peak usually. All right, so the quarter by quarter chart behavior, we're gonna get it into two here. I'm gonna give you the general chart behavior throughout each quarter. As far as the timing of the highs, which one of these highs is the highest of the high for the year, which one of these lows is for the lowest of the low for the year, that's stuff that you get in the paid version, but I can still tell you where we're gonna see peaks and troughs. But before we do that, I just want to make sure you're aware. The whole purpose of the channel is to transmute some of the competitive energy of the stock market into goodwill. And we do that by following the rule of karma for the channel. It's a threefold agreement between the universe and anybody utilizing this information for personal gain. Nothing wrong with gaining from this information as long as you are simultaneously helping other people. So the way that you do that is you go to our website, Tarot for Traders, to the resources tab. 5% of all profits should be donated forward to a charity, and 5% of the profits should be donated back to the channel through one of these links. If you're international, you can use this app Wise, which is reliable, or you can use crypto. When you click on the crypto tab, you get all these QR codes, so you can donate in a bunch of different cryptos. It leaves you at 90%. That's way more than a stockbroker would ever leave you with. With that said, guys, make sure to follow through on that rule of karma. As long as you do that, the universe considers you an angel investor of the channel. It's going to send it back to you tenfold for following through. Blessings to all my angel investors. Let's get back into it. And likely what we have is a decline out of January into prominent lows here early February, and then February, March, and then another move back. So overall, probably like a U-shaped kind of dip going on over there for the quarter for Q1. Q2 starts off mixed. It starts off bullish, then turns bearish into middle part of the year. A prominent trough there in the middle part of the Q2, and then another peak kind of on the cusp of Q2 and Q3. Mixed sideways behavior, it looks like, in Q3 overall. Likely the highs at the beginning and at the end of the quarter. The high for the quarter at the beginning and the end of the quarter. And it looks like we have a similar thing going on, bearish for the fourth quarter out of an important peak into a trough, an important trough on a 1-year chart scale, and then likely at the very end of the year in December we have a notable rally back, maybe into peak again there, or maybe it's like carries over into the following year, we see a peak there. As far as the best trades, so there's a rally early in January out of a prominent trough on a 1-year chart scale. In the midst of that rally, we'll have like a crest. When the rally ends, it'll be a crest rather than it being a peak. It'll be a crest that turns over. Look for an important resistance level, at least on a 1-year chart scale there in the later part of January after creating a peak. So we rally into a peak at key resistance on at least a 1-year chart scale, creating a crest, and then we should decline pretty notably out of that. So at that resistance, from that resistance, when we decline and you feel we've adequately moved to the downside there, what we should be at is the lowest low thus far for the year, in February, thus far for the year. And in that, we should have opportunity to open up a long position with the anticipation that we'll then rally back to the price level of that resistance that we met at the January high. We should rally back to it somewhere around February, March, probably March. Pretty solid trade in there. So you could use roughly the price range of the January high as your exit price range. Don't go for an exact like dollar and cent. It's a range. You have to give it wiggle room, but it'll be within that range as your exit. So anywhere below that price level, in theory, technically is a good buy opportunity, but obviously you don't want to jump in too early. You should buy a little bit. If we go lower, add to it. If we go lower, add to it. And then when we have this move back to that resistance level, you should be able to get out for all of that profitably. For the rest of the trades and the week-by-week chart behavior, as well as information about the highs, the lows for each month, and the timing of the highest highs, the lowest lows, as well as any alerts, that's all in the paid version, as well as price level information. And we also take a look at that multi-year reading and see where this 1-year reading fits into the grand scheme of things. That's DigiByte for 2025. Let me know what you think by hitting that like button. As always, make sure to follow that rule of karma. You know where to go. You know what to do. Blessings to all my angel investors. Stay tuned if you got the paid version. We're going to get into the rest of those trades momentarily.
You go to our services, SO Meta Post, scroll down to 1-year report, click here to order, and you click on choose when they're discounted because they've already been done. Roughly like a 48-hour turnaround. You basically just pick whichever one you want. There's some 2025s in there as well, and there'll be some 2026s in there pretty soon. As we release them, as people order customs or we put out 1-years, we add them to the list. You can order any of them here at a discounted price. Or if you're interested in a ticker that we're not covering or a crypto that we're not covering, click on 1-year report, click here to order, click on custom report, specify the year, specify the ticker or crypto, add to cart. Great way to support the channel. Well undervalued, or underpriced, I should say. And the final way that you could go about getting the 1-year report, if you're one of our total access members, it's our top tier subscription. You go to SO Meta Post, scroll down to total access, click here to order. This gets you access to the paid version of basically everything that we have, all of the 1-years that we have. And as they come, new ones come out, you get the access to all of those. And you also get access to the monthly paid versions of the monthlies that regularly come out every month, as well as any one-offs that people order that we throw out there. All of that you get with the total access subscription. Best way to support the channel. Much appreciation. Everybody does that. Love you guys. Let's get back into it.